against the stream. It don't matter what race or creed or color. You love this land and you're my brother. That ain't place to know your stand. If you say you can't breathe, I'll show you we can. Ain't never gonna stop believing. We were born for freedom. We're born for freedom.
All right. Y'all, I'm tired as fuck, but we're going to do this anyway. I promised you chapter 5 and chapter 7, so we're going to get right into it. If you guys need a review, okay, last week we had a wonderful suggestion from one of our ragers, suggested reads, so this will be the next. Shout out to Clue for calling this the Red Pill Book Club. I love that idea. I love that term. So next book for the Red Pill Book Club, Robert Greene's 33 Strategies of War and 48 Laws of Power. We were talking about, let's see, we did chapter 3, right? Yeah. Planning Offenses was chapter 3. And just, I'm just going to summarize it with the last paragraph there. Thus it is said that one who knows the enemy and knows himself will not be endangered in 100 engagements. One who does not know the enemy but knows himself will sometimes be victorious, sometimes met with defeat. And one who knows neither the enemy nor himself will invariably be defeated in every engagement. So that's us, Republicans. That's us. We don't know the enemy and we don't know ourselves. If we knew the enemy, we would see how serious the New World Order was when COVID started. If we knew the enemy, we would understand that BLM and Antifa are the strong arm of the communist agenda. And we would have shut that shit down in the streets. We would have met muscle with muscle. We would have met fire with fire 2 years ago. We didn't understand the enemy, nor do we know ourselves. We rub shoulders with feds. We rub shoulders with liars. We rub shoulders with double agents. We rub shoulders with red herrings. And we don't even know who we're dealing with. Hello, look who's here, Maurice Delk. I would love for you to join the conversation if you have time tonight. LJ Walker, I've never seen you before, but I'm glad you're here. Chunk Wobbler, happy you're here. I haven't seen you before. She said Anquifa and strong are strong in the same sentence. Well, I mean, they get their point across, don't they? They get their way. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. But we're too virtuous to be squeaky. We're too nice to be squeaky. That's why we're losing. Anyhow, we are moving on. We are skipping chapter 4. That is military disposition. Okay. Guys, hit them hearts on TikTok. Please hit them hearts. We are moving into chapter 5, strategic military power. I need to go to bed. I'm tired. I've been working all day. In general, commanding a large number is like commanding a few. It is a question of dividing up the numbers. Fighting with a large number is like fighting with a few. It is a question of configuration and destination. What enabled the masses of the three armies invariably to withstand the enemy without being defeated are the unorthodox Qi and the orthodox Cheng. Okay. Quick review. We talked about the yin and yang. We talked about heaven and earth. We talked about a little bit of Eastern philosophy as it pertains to this book. Therefore, if you need a review of that, check out Art of War Series Part 1 and Art of War Series Part 2. This is Part 3. If whenever the army attacks, it is like a whetstone thrown against an egg, it is due to the vacuous and substantial. In battle, in battle, one engages with the orthodox and gains victory through the unorthodox. This is why they're winning. They're willing to do what we're not willing to do. We want to fight this battle. Yes, Mike Patriot, I got you. You got banned again already? You had that other profile for like 2 days. What the fuck? The fuck, TikTok? See, we are not unorthodox. So not only are we ignorant as patriots, but not only are we too virtuous and too nice, we don't know how to think outside the box. We don't understand guerrilla warfare. They do, but we don't. And that's a problem. I talked about guerrilla warfare in an episode about 8 months ago. And I'll put that link in the show notes after we're done, if you guys want to go watch that. Thus, one who excels at sending forth the unorthodox is as inexhaustible as heaven, as unlimited as the Yangtze and Yellow rivers. What reach and end and begin again are the sun and moon. What die and are reborn are the 4 seasons. Exactly, Chunk. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I get called that all the time. Yeah, I know. I'm done with Back the Blue. I'm not saying that I would ever be disrespectful to anyone in law enforcement, but I'm done with them. They showed us their true colors. They showed us in every democratic city who their alliance is with. So fuck them. As far as fuck them. We're on our own. The notes do not exceed 5, but the changes of the 5 notes can never be fully heard. No colors do not exceed 5, but the changes of the 5 colors can never be completely seen. Flavors do not exceed 5, but the changes of the 5 flavors can never be completely tasted. In warfare, the strategic configurations of power do not exceed the unorthodox and orthodox, but the changes of the unorthodox and orthodox can never be completely exhausted. The unorthodox and orthodox mutually produce each other, just like an endless cycle. Who can exhaust them? The strategic configuration of power is visible on the onrush of pent-up water tumbling stones along. The effect of constraints is visible in the onrush of a bird of prey breaking the bones of its target. Thus, the strategic configuration of power of those that excel in warfare is sharply focused. Their constraints are precise. Their strategic configuration of power is like a fully drawn crossbow. Their constraints like the release of the trigger. Intermixed and turbulent, the fighting appears chaotic, but they cannot be made disordered. In turmoil and confusion, their deployment is circular, and they cannot be defeated. Simulated chaos is given birth from control. You hear me here? Simulated chaos is given birth from control. Now, we could say that what we saw, the rioting, what seems like chaos, it's not chaos. It's fucking organized. It was designated. It was paid for. And law enforcement was in cahoots with all of it. It seems like chaos to the naked eye, But what the book is saying here is that some of that there's a method to the madness. Okay, understand that. It's you guys look at Antifa like they're just a bunch of fucking like throwaway, fatherless weirdos. Yes, they are pawns, but they know what they're doing. Hi, how are you?
What's up, Bobo?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm in the middle of a lecture. Are you interested in joining? Have you read this book?
No.
The Art of War?
Uh-uh.
Are you okay?
I'll listen.
You've been crying?
No, I got water in my eyeball. I got an eyelash starting.
Well, don't rub it too much.
It's already made my eyeball red. Just stabbing it. Rita, I'll listen to you.
Oh,
If you want
okay.
to join your live, I'll go over there and listen.
Okay, well, thank you. Order and disorder are a question of numbers. Courage and fear are a question of the strategic configuration of power. Strength and weakness are a question of the deployment of forces. Now, remember, when we were talking about, let's see, it was chapter 1, I believe. Let me just go back. Okay. Display profits to entice them. Create disorder in their forces and take them. If they are substantial, prepare for them. If they are strong, avoid them. If they are angry, perturb them. Be differential to foster their arrogance. If they are rested, force them to exert themselves. If they are united, cause them to be separated. Attack where they are unprepared. Go forth where they will not expect it. These are the ways the military strategists are victorious. They cannot be spoken of in advance. That's from chapter 1, okay? Remember that. Again, order and disorder are a question of numbers. Courage and fear are a question of the strategic configuration of power. Strength and weakness are a question of deployment of forces. This is all Eastern philosophy here. Now listen, I've talked about temperance before. Remember the word temperance? Let me put this up here. Temperance see if I can spell it. Temperance is what I do as a chef. When I taste something that's too salty, I might add sugar. When I taste something that's too acidic, I might add umami. If something is too hot, I can cool it down with ice. If something is too thick, I can thin it with milk. Temperance is giving the situation, the person, the place, or the thing what it needs to make it at 100%. Okay? It's fulfilling those empty spots. And that's what this is. That's the type of strategy that they're talking about here. You don't have to have more people to beat the enemy. You just need to find where their weakness is and push on that. You don't have to be, let's say, okay, so if the enemy is being haughty, you can, instead of insulting them, you can flatter them to the point where they hang their own noose. If the enemy is insecure, you can press on those insecurities to the point where they break. If the enemy is weak, if the enemy is strong, you can exhaust them. Hi, how are you? Yeah, I've missed you too, J-Dog. I know I haven't done a thirst traps and therapy. I have to do one, and the next one is going to be called Hygiene Triggers. Because you guys know, how I am. You know how I am. You know how I am. I'm not going to try to hide who I am. You already know. Jenny is sanitary and doesn't. Jenny is sanitary and I don't take no shit. So you already know. Thus, one who excels at moving the enemy deploys in a configuration to which the enemy must respond. He offers something that the enemy must seize. With profit, he moves them. With foundation, he awaits them. Bribery works. Okay, it's enticing. Lure them in, and then make sure your forces are strong enough to envelop them in what would be your foundation. Thus, one who excels at warfare seeks victory through strategic configuration of power, not from reliance on men. Thus, he is able to select men and employ strategic power. One who employs strategic power commands men in battles as if he were rolling logs and stones. The nature of wood and stone is to be quiet when stable, but to move when on precipitous ground, which means wet ground. Thus, the strategic power of one who excels at employing men in warfare is comparable to rolling round boulders down a 1,000-fathom mountain. Such is the strategic configuration of power. Okay. So, like I said, we are skipping chapter 6, which is vacuity and substance. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Vacuity and substance. We are going to move on to chapter 7. But before we do that, let me see if I have any notes that I took. Other reference materials. See, honestly, the reference material in this book is just as good as the chapters themselves. So let me see if I wrote anything, because I finished reading this like over a month ago. Okay, I do have reference material for chapter 5, okay? Recent decades have witnessed an explosive growth in American and European interest in the Far East. Books and articles about China have enjoyed popularity since the 1970s. Those on Japan, especially on Japanese management practices, have proliferated since the early 1980s. And those focusing on business in terms of corporate warfare and theories of strategy, including Asian practices and their underlying philosophies, retain currency. The writings of Musashi, the famous Japanese swordsman, and Sun Tzu, the ancient Chinese military theorist, have been repeatedly translated, investigated, and discussed. However, as interesting as they are, and a few books from the martial arts have proven to be the vast Chinese military corpus, despite its historical importance and contemporary significance, remains unknown in the West. Chinese military thought probably originated with the Neolithic village conflicts 4,000 or 5,000 years ago. Perhaps even as mythologized in the clash of the legendary cultural heroes and sage emperors. Subsequently, because men were compelled to direct their ingenuity toward combat, weapons were developed, tactics evolved, and power structures arose. Now, remember, last night, what did we say about Confucians? Confucians were the hippies and pacifists and wokety wokes of ancient China. Okay, they are the ones who made the empires really weak. So in this chapter, they're talking about what warfare was like in the Neolithic period, which was before that, okay, when people were fighting. Eventually, dominant figures, perhaps a clan or lineage chiefs commanding more warlike peoples, imposed their wills over other groups in widening domains and some groups became significant political powers. At the dawn of the historical age, as preserved in early written materials and revealed by artifacts frequent, intense clashes were already occurring between those contending forces as they evolved into states, and powerful individuals sought to establish sole rule over the realm and to found dynastic houses. Dynasty means war, like royalty, if you guys don't already know that, but you should. If you graduated middle school, you should know what that means. Thereafter, the scope of battle expanded, the strength and effectiveness of weapons increased, and military organization, tactics, and technology all developed. Eventually, battlefield lessons and command experience became the focus of conscious study. The efforts were made to preserve the insights and avoid the errors of the past, and the science of military tactics and strategy was born. Okay, so that's all I'm going to read for that. I just needed you guys to know that, like, just needed to remind you that the Confucians were the ones who fucked everything up for China. Just like the liberals are fucking everything up for us. All right, moving on. Moving on to chapter 7, military combat. Proud of your boy. You know, I feel like I have more Yellow Jackets following me on TikTok than I do on Telegram now. It's great. I love it. Proud of your boy. In general.
What is yours on
Telegram?
Huh?
I'm done with Telegram. I got a new here, let's have an unboxing. I got my new iPhone today. So I'm done with Telegram. I'm never going back on it. There's a few people on there that I like to stay in touch with, and I already got their phone numbers. So it's just it's too much federal there's too many feds on it. I can't be on there anymore. I've already been contacted by one, and that's not good. So. Well, that's my life, honey. This is why I suffer from severe paranoia. Ooh, new iPhone.
Nice, young lady.
I hope to God it uses the same charger, because I have like 4 of the cords. It better, thank God. I don't want to have to buy a new charger. Born to be kings, princes of the universe. So it's the 13 Max Pro, and because I upgraded. My phone bill is now going to be $10 less a month, and I got a brand new phone. Thank you. Thank you, AT&T. So tomorrow I just need to buy a case. It's got some weight to it. I like that. But until I buy a case, I am not going to touch it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, I'm a big I don't buy the OtterBox because it's too expensive, but I buy like the fake OtterBox, and they're like $18, and I can drop my phone all day, and I don't have a scratch on my phone. So
I don't like iPhones because they break too quick for me.
Well, that's why you need the case. Once you have the case, you're good. Yay! Got a new phone. I got 2 phones. Y'all don't know about that song. All right, chapter 7. Let's.
Who are you reading to?
Huh?
Who else are you reading to?
I'm live streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Oh crap!
Yeah, I'm
jump off your thing.
Go to my YouTube page if you want to have your comments up. Mike, you're from.
Is it on the thing with your name?
Yeah, it's in my bio.
All right, love you.
All right. Okay. In general, the strategy for employing the army is this. From the time the general receives his commands from the ruler, unites the armies and assembles the masses to confronting the enemy and encamping. There is nothing more difficult than military combat. In military combat, what is most difficult is turning the circuitous into the straight, turning adversity into advantage. Now, do we know how to do that? Because I sure as fuck don't know how. And I don't see any leader on our side showing us how to do that. Nothing. I'm gonna delete. I'm switching my phone over tomorrow. So nothing happened on Telegram. It's just someone contacted me that I know works for the enemy. So remember when I did that fundraiser for Zach and his wife? He decided to. I mean, look. I mean, it's my business. My associations are already out there. If I'm going to go to jail, I'm going to go to jail. That's just what's going to happen. But I don't appreciate no fucking double agent who is still not been disavowed sending me no messages. That's not cool. So fuck Telegram. I'm done with it. And plus it's just like it used. Okay, so like before I finish, so like on if you look at the analytics on my YouTube page, it will tell you where the traffic is being driven from. Okay. So a good percentage of it was Telegram. A good percentage of it was Twitter. Okay. It's gone down clearly, obviously, since the election. It's gone down on both platforms, but there's still some traffic from Twitter, but there's like almost no traffic from Telegram anymore. So I was like posting in every single Patriot Party chapter, like chat that I could, but like I guess they don't care anymore. The Patriots don't care anymore, so they don't watch my stuff anymore. And I don't know, people just aren't interested. It's fine, but it's a waste of my time. Like I go where I'm celebrated, not tolerated. So there was that, and then that, and you put that together, and it's just like there's really only 5 people on Telegram that I speak to on a regular basis. So if I just have their phone number or their email, I don't need to be on Telegram anymore. Make sense? Cool. All right. Thus, combat between armies is advantageous. Combat between masses is dangerous. If the entire army contends for advantage, you will not arrive in time. If you reduce the army size to contend for your advantage, your baggage and heavy equipment will suffer losses. For this reason, if you abandon your armor and heavy equipment to race forward day and night without encamping, covering 2 days normal distance at a time, marching forward 100 li to contend for gain, the 3 armies' generals will be captured. Okay, so here's an example of temperance. Here's an example of that yin and yang. Okay, what they're saying here is if you are heavily armed, you are going to sacrifice speed. So if speed is what you need to overwhelm the enemy, you have to reduce your load. You have to reduce your weight. Okay, so again, yin and yang. If you want to do this, you're going to have to do this. If this is low, then this needs to be high. If this is empty, then this needs to be full. Okay, you guys get what I'm saying here? The strong will be first to arrive, while the exhausted will follow. With such tactics, only 1 in 10 will reach the battle site. If one contends to gain for 50 li away, so li, actually, I want to look that up. What is li? Li, let's see, I guess that's a measurement of distance. Okay, li, also known as the Chinese mile, is a traditional Chinese unit of distance. The li has varied considerably over time, but is usually about 1/3 of an English mile and now has a standardized length of half a kilometer or 50 meters. So he's saying if you want to go half the distance, it's going to require a different adjustment. The 3 armies' generals will be captured. The strong will be first to arrive, while the exhausted will follow. With such tactics, only 1 in 10 will reach the battle site. If one contends to gain for 50 li away, it will cause the general of the upper army to stumble, and by following such tactics, half the men will reach the objective. If you contend to gain for 30 li, then 2/3 of the army will reach the objective. Accordingly, if the army does not have baggage and heavy equipment, it will be lost. If it does not have provisions, it will be lost. If it does not have stores, it will be lost. Okay, so correction to what I just said like 3 sentences ago. Obviously, you can't completely strip yourself of all weapons equipment because you can't just have everybody show up and fight by hand. So just clarify that. Okay, bad example, bad Jenny. Bad Jenny. Thus, one who does not know the plans of the feudal lords cannot prepare alliances beforehand. Some unfamiliar with the mountains and forests, gorges and defiles, the shapes of marshes and wetlands cannot advance the army. One who does not employ local guides cannot gain advantages of terrain. Thus, the army is established by deceit, moves for advantage, and changes through segmenting and reuniting. Temperance. You put some here, you put some there, you put some on the side, you put some in the water, you put some on the mountains. Figure it out. Thus, its speed is like the wind, its slowness like the forest, its invasion and plundering like a fire unmoving, and it is like the mountains. It is as difficult to know as the darkness. In movement, it is like thunder. When you plunder a district, divide the wealth among your troops. When you enlarge your territory, divide its profits. Take control of the strategic balance of power and move. The one who first understands the tactics of circuitous, and the direct will be victorious. This is the strategy for military combat. Military administration states, because they could not hear each other, they made gongs and drums. Because they could not see each other, they made pennants and flags. Gongs, drums, pennants, and flags are the means to unify the men's ears and eyes. When the men have been unified, the courageous will not be able to advance alone. The fearful will not be able to retreat alone. Okay. Here's the problem for me, though. This is personal. This is just totally personal. I don't want to be united with half of these fucking patriots. I really don't. Because they soft. They soft. They soft. Thank you. I don't want to be united with them. They too soft. You see, I can already tell just by looking at TikTok who's going to snitch. I can already tell who's going to retreat. I can already tell who's going to be a coward. Trust me. I know. I don't know because I know. I don't know because of intuition. I know because of proof of performance. Those who are more concerned about fighting with the Heathers or trolls, they're not going to make it. I don't want to be united with them. Those who are concerned about reposting stories for fame and viewers and subscribers, I already know they're not going to make it. They're not going to make it. I love Salty Cracker. I love Salty Cracker. Salty Cracker has made me laugh when I was depressed. But I caught him spreading bad intel, so I had to unfollow him. Those who spread bad intel are the worst ones. They are. Sorry. But that's just me. But once again, when men have been unified, the courageous will not be able to advance alone, and the fearful will not be able to retreat alone. This is the method for employing large numbers. Honestly, I don't want to fight with other people. I'd rather be a spy. I'd rather just do it on my own. Like, I don't trust patriots. They haven't earned my trust. Very few have. I can count on one hand the amount of patriots that I would trust my life with and trust this country with, trust our futures, our freedoms with. I'm still looking for a leader. I'm still looking for that general commander, high and low. I don't trust these motherfuckers. They petty, they soft, and they lie too much. Liars cannot be unified with truth seekers. They can't. That's my personal opinion. That is not what Sun Tzu says. Okay. Thus, in the night, battles make fires and drums numerous. And in the daylight, battles make the flags and pennants numerous in order to change the men's ears and eyes. The chi of the three armies can be snatched away. The commanding general's mind can be seized. For this reason, in the morning, their chi is ardent. During the day, their chi becomes indolent, and at dusk, their chi is exhausted. Thus, one who excels at employing the army avoids their ardent chi and strikes when it is indolent or exhausted. This is the way to manipulate the chi. Now, for those of you men, chi means something else. If you want to explain it, you could probably explain it better than I can. In order, await the disorder. In tranquility, await the clamorous. This is the way to control the mind. Again, that yin and yang. Sun Tzu says that you don't have that. See, a lot of this book, especially these first few chapters that we've read, a lot of it is about timing. Timing is everything. Okay. When they are disordered, that's when you strike. When they are tranquil, that's when you strike. When they are weak, that is when you strike. When their chi has been exhausted, that is when you strike. When they are arrogant and indulging themselves in flattery, that is when you strike. It's timing. It's observation. This is something that we don't understand in Western culture. You're not taught this. Now, not to pat myself on the shoulder here, back, whatever the phrase is, but at least I was a Buddhist for 10 years. So I kind of understand what they mean here. Plus, I'm a chef, so I understand temperance. I understand the yin and yang better than the average Christian patriot. I'm sure Celtic Spirits does as well. Okay. With the near, await the distant. With the rested, await the fatigued. With the sated, await the hungry. This is the way to control strength. Do not intercept well-ordered flags. Do not attack well-regulated formations. This is the way to control changes. Again, timing. Timing. Don't go in head first. Don't go in head first, especially when they are strong. You wait until they have infighting, and that's when you strike. I'm just gonna keep reading. Thus, the strategy for employing the military. Do not approach high mountains. Do not confront those who have hills behind them. Do not pursue feigned retreats. Do not attack animated troops. Do not swallow an army acting as bait. Ooh. Do not swallow an army acting as bait. Mugen, thank you for being here. Do not send me any TikTok gifts, please. Thank you, though. If you would like to, I mean, I'm about done with this because I need to go to bed. I've been working all day. I'm really tired. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. But just remember, if TikTok bans my profile, whatever money you put into this is TikTok will keep, and we're not going to give the enemy any more of our money as best we can, right? Do not obstruct an army retreating homeward. If you besiege an army, you must leave an outlet. Do not press on an exhausted invader. These are the strategies for employing the military. All right, so that is that. Clue is here. Shout out to Clue for coming up with the term, the phrase, Red Pill Book Club. Clue listens to a lot of audiobooks. And I think I forgot to mention that if you guys don't like to read, audiobooks is the way to go. Or if your only time that you have to yourself is while you're driving to work or back, audiobooks is the way to go. There are no more excuses for not educating yourself. Okay? You can use Audible. Okay, there's audiobooks on iHeartRadio, there's audiobooks on iTunes, there's audiobooks on Spotify. And those are the free ones. Okay, and then the ones that you have to pay for usually don't cost that much. Okay, so no more excuses. No excuses 2022. No excuses 2022. All right? Everyone should be learning something. Everyone should be learning something, okay? Hey, that's fine. You don't have to read fast. You don't have to read fast. You don't have to read at all. Technology, as you say, has given us options. We have options. And that's totally fine. And you know what? Maybe for someone like you retain the information better when you can listen to it. Okay? I'm a visual person. I retain information better when I see it. Everyone's different. Everyone learns a different way. And this is what works for you. And I thank you for bringing it up. I'm glad you jumped in. Gabriel says, this is how we won our independence from Britain. Driving is a time for learning, or talk to yourself and figure out the right course. Thank you, Celtic Spirit. What is everyone in the chat reading right now? What is the book on your nightstand? That would be great. Why don't you guys put that in the comments? That's awesome. Tomorrow, we can go... Tomorrow we will skip chapter 9 and we are going to just read chapter 8 and chapter 10, okay? So not chapter 8 is 9 changes and chapter 10 is configurations of the terrain. Why is it important? Well, again, it goes back to temperance. It goes back to chi, heaven and earth, yin and yang, okay? The way you fight a land battle is not the way you fight a sea battle. The way you fight on sand is not the way you fight on concrete. All right, so I feel like it's somewhat important, and then we'll make some more metaphors and analogies in reference to that tomorrow night. For you, TikTok, earlier in the day, we're going to do another chapter read from No Excuses. If you guys are interested in hearing me read this book, This is exclusive content that I am saving for TikTok because they're all a bunch of insecure weirdos. And so I'm trying to help them get better. My ragers, you guys seem to have your shit together quite a bit more than my TikTokers do. I don't know how mentally sound all of you are, but you sure seem to be more mentally sound than everyone on TikTok, and that's fine. Okay. So exclusive content on TikTok, if you want that, I am Red Pill TV on Instagram, and I am Red Pill TV on TikTok. Okay. Instagram is exclusive content, thirst traps and therapy. It is my personal page. I do tomorrow's subject matter will be hygiene triggers. Okay. Hygiene triggers. Y'all know how you know how I am. You know how I am. So I'm not even going to try to lie. I'm not even going to try to hide it. I'm not even going to pretend like I have control of my triggers when it comes to personal and environmental hygiene. That is not something I have control over. I'm working through it. I'm being transparent. It's a challenge for me. I don't like dirty shit. So Instagram is Red Pill TV 1. TikTok is at Jenny Red Pill, or my active page, my streaming page is Red Pill TV. If you'd like to write me an email, I am redpill_rage@protonmail.com. Reading material. So I think the Art of War series, we'll keep it a 5-part series. Tonight was part 3, part 4 tomorrow, part 5 on Sunday, and then we will retire this book because we have new reading material. Get these books on Audible, get these on audiobook, or you can purchase them on Amazon. One of them is $20 and the other one is $13.99. They are affordable. I'm sure they're even cheaper if you get the audiobook. And if you Google search it, you might even find somebody who's doing a reading of these books for free on YouTube. Okay? Because copyrighted material, unless it's music, it's a hell of a whole lot harder to find. I mean, to prosecute. So figure it out. Okay. This is going to be next in the Red Pill Book Club. Yes. Shout out to the visionary for suggesting Robert Greene. 2 more to go. Coven, will you please go back, listen to part 1, listen to part 2, which I did last night, and then you'll be caught up. And then after that, we are going to take advice from your friend. Thank you, Clue. I know you love my honesty. I'm done fighting. Like I'm done like trying to pretend like I have control over certain things. I just don't. I just don't. I just don't. I can't. We witches aren't mentally sound. We are witches. We had to resort to witchcraft just to survive. I hear you on that. Let's see. Clue says facts. LJ Walker says, I'm in the middle of the day Kennedy was shot by Jim Bishop. I would love to get your thoughts on that book. And if it's really good, definitely share it. We can add it to Red Pill Book Club. In fact, we can start a list right now. Hold on. I know that there's a book that I've really been wanting to read. It's about Mario Cuomo. Do you guys know who Mario Cuomo is? He was a old school fucking assassin in New York. And if you don't know who he is, I'm sure you know who his two sons are. I have to get that. Another one is the naked communist, the naked capitalist, and the naked socialist. That's also something that I really, really want to read within the next month or two. Let's see. Anyone else got any good ones? Believing is seeing. What do you think, Celtic? I mean, if it's a good read, we can add it to the book club. We can all read it. Tufti, the priestess. Oh, Clue, you didn't know that their father was a fucking murderer who worked for the mob? I don't remember which crime family it was. He worked for one of the five families. He was known for being one of the most brutal capos that there was. Their father is a fucking murderer, yes. And there's even a theory that he was involved in the assassination of President Kennedy, which is why I brought it up. Now, that could all be conspiracy theory, but the fact that their father was a mob, not a mob boss, but like a mob capo, that's significant. And they be on CNN acting like they all good and shit. I don't know if it was the Gambino family or the Genovese family, but I'll look it up. But yeah, it's Mario Cuomo. Yeah, that's their dad. Their dad. Yeah. It's crazy, right? I swear to God, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. If I don't know, or if I'm fuzzy on it, I'll say I don't know or I'm fuzzy on it. I don't know which crime family, but he was definitely a mobster. Definitely a mobster. Okay. Anyone else have a book you want to add to the book club? Anything good that you guys like? All right. Plus, we got the two by Robert Greene. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 that I need to be reading very, very soon. In addition to finishing this book with TikTok and hi. Hi, Fat Juice Wife. How are you? Can't wait to see you. I'm counting down the days till we go camping. Yeah, my YouTubers are going to be jealous. You know, I'm going camping at another TikTok meetup. I can't wait. I can't wait. All right. Y'all be good. I am so tired. I need to go to bed. My 40-hour week is done. It's done. So that means I get to sleep in tomorrow. You all have a good night. Make sure you are following me on another platform other than YouTube. Okay? If you have Instagram, it's RedPill TV1. TikTok, it's RedPill TV. Twitter is Rage Red Pill. It is backwards because Red Pill Rage wasn't available at the time. But Twitter's kind of useless to me at this point. Camp. I love camping. It's been so long. I can't wait to do it again. Can't wait. Thank you, LJ Walter. I don't know where you came from. I've never seen you on my channel before, but thank you for participating. This is the type of audience interaction that I appreciate. I do hope you subscribe Please hit the notification bell. That goes for all of you. Hit the notification bell because, of course, as you know, I'm shadow banned everywhere that I go. Thus is life. But again, I am not a general who seeks fame. I am a general who seeks efficacy, right? Remember, wisdom, strengths and weaknesses, qualifications of a commander. Strength, unconcerned by fame. Weakness, obsessed with achieving fame for purity or vanity. You know which category I fall under. Good night.